Hi guys, welcome to the video. So today I would like to show you this small project that I made, and it will be just really just one map which will be covered in this video. So don't expect like a whole series of videos for this. As you can see, it's a map named Across the Desert, which is a map from Knights and Merchants that I recreated in Armies of Exigo. Similarly, as I recreated Knights and Merchants Shattered Kingdom campaign. And as you can see, it's a map for 6 players, and you can just go in the description right now and download it. Yeah, it will look like this, and here you will just click download. Once you download it, you will receive a zip file, and once you open it, you will see those 3 maps here. As you can see, all of them are named Across the Desert, but then you have some more information here. So the first one is just this map with normal races from Armies of Exigo. So you will have Empire, Beasts, and Fallens. So you can just play this map in the normal format of Armies of Exigo. Then you have the Across the Desert Knights and Merchants, which is basically the same map, but races are changed. So for this to work properly, every player needs to choose the Empire faction. Actually, if we open the game, you have it here in the description. As you can see, all players must choose an Empire race for this mode to work properly. But there is one more information here, and that is that this version is not really compatible with with AI enemies. Yeah, so you just need real players for this version to work. So if you have six players that will be playing this, then you can play it. But if you add some AIs there, then sometimes they will just bug and don't make any soldiers. So keep that in mind. But of course, I mean, all players are set up here exactly same as it was in the campaign, Knights and Merchants, the Shattered Kingdom. So if you played that campaign that I created, or you are watching the videos on my channel, then you already know how it works, what units are there, and what are the requirements for everything. So it's exactly the same, but sometimes it just doesn't work with AIs. So that's why I also created this third version, and yeah, there is the AI also in title, and this is also adjusted, so it's similar to that Knights and Merchants mode that I made for Armies of Exigo, but as you can see here, there are some slight adjustments, so it's not exactly the same. Yeah, you have some buildings removed and some new buildings, but the whole concept of units and also the balance factor of all units is the same. And it works with AIs, so that's the main factor here. So I probably won't show you those first 2 options because this is not even playable with AIs, and right now I don't have anyone to play this with, so I cannot really show you this. And this is just with normal races from Armies of Exigo, yeah, so it's just a new map that you can try to play. But I would like to show you the third version in this video, where I will be playing with AIs, and it will be the Knights and Merchants mode. So let's set it up. I will choose always visible here so I can also show you the map, because if we hide everything then we wouldn't be able to see it. I will take green color as I usually do, and yeah, as you can see in the description, everyone needs to be Empire for this to work, so definitely need to do this really quickly. And let's not make any teams, so it's a little bit more interesting, and let's start. Of course, it will be played live, so it's not pre-recorded, so
What needs
don't
to be done?
I don't know if we will win this. I don't really care about that. It's not about winning right now, it's just about showing you the map. So let's take a look around there. I just started making some peasants, so no need to wait here. Yeah, as you can see, the positions are on the exact same positions, same locations as they are in the Across the Desert map in Knights and Merchants. So yeah, everything is exactly copied. Of course, it will be really different experience because you don't need a huge space for building your town, but of course it's also much quicker in Armies of Exigo because it's just much easier to make soldiers because you just create barracks and start making X-Men, which is the first unit here. But of course our enemies will be even faster because they are very hard AIs, so they are cheating a little bit, they are mining resources faster and also building buildings faster, and their units will be created faster, so they are just cheating a little bit, so it's even more difficult, but hopefully we'll be able to survive here. I think the most important thing is to build some towers because they are really powerful and they will keep us alive even if our enemies have much more units. Of course, if you didn't see any of my videos or didn't play the mode I made yourself, then you probably will be a little bit lost here, because if you are used to the Armies of Exigo UI, then this is of course a little bit different because there are all the same icons as you are used to probably, but that's because you cannot actually change them in the editor. So the only thing I could change is the name. So that's the thing that you need to refer to. So this is actually an X-Men, even though you can see the swordsman icon here. Yeah, and you can actually create elite swordsmen, but that's on the position of priest. So yeah, if you didn't see the Knights and Merchants campaign walkthrough, then I would definitely recommend you to look there, because of course there are lots of those videos, yeah, one for each mission, and of course there I'm explaining everything in depth, much more, so you will understand it even better. There is also that text file for that campaign where everything is described, so maybe that could also explain you everything, even if you don't want to play that campaign, but you want to try this one map, then it will also help you. So right now I will try to start focusing on the game actually, because we are a little bit behind since I was not really paying too much attention here. And let's see what our enemies are doing. As you can see, this guy is upgrading to Stone Keep immediately, and he will be doing elite pikemans, so that will be actually a little bit slower. Yeah, he won't be making units so fast as other players, but then he will have immediately elite units, which is the equivalent to iron units in Knights and Merchants. So those are the stronger units, of course. I will probably make Temple of Swords and start making some elite swordsmen, because that's the best unit to counter those elite pikemans, and it's also pretty strong against all other units. And it's probably the easiest thing to make if you want to make elite units, because for those elite pikemans you need to build Growth of Pikes and then also Beacon of Pikes. That's the one different building from the campaign mode that I made, because it was just not working properly without this building for AI. So here you need to build 2 buildings, and if you want to make elite knights, then you also need to upgrade your Stone Keep to castle, which was originally, again in the campaign, it's required for all the elite units, but here I changed it and it's only required for elite knights. And then of course you can also make elite crossbowmen, that would be the same difficulty to make as elite swordsmen, but of course that's ranged unit and it's not that strong. You usually need something in front of it, and those X-Men are just not enough, let's say.
Excellent idea.
So let's build one more tower here. Also let's count our peasants. Seems like we have one more than we need, which is okay because we will be still building something. Actually I made 2 more, but still okay. And yeah, we probably don't need more population right now, so let's invest those resources into more elite swordsmen. And as you can see, this guy is also making elite pikemans. So there will be 2 enemies around me that will be making lots of elite pikemans, and I should be able to easily counter them with my elite swordsmen. So that's really good. As you can see, this guy is just making some basic units, and he's actually getting destroyed by the yellow enemy, and he's just ignoring him. He has some soldiers here, but he's not defending himself. I don't know why, but I mean, if he doesn't come back, then he will probably have some big problems. Even though eventually, once those X-Men move here, and this tower will be upgraded, then he will be probably able to defend himself just with the tower. But I really don't understand why he's not defending himself with those units, since he has them. Let's also build a blacksmith, so we can make some archers.
Good idea.
Because we don't have gems for elite crossbowmen, so I will just make archers, which also cost some gems, so it will slow down the swordsman's production, but I want to have some ranged units, and this is the cheaper variation, of course. And as you can see, he finally came back to his town and started defending himself, but he already lost most of his peasants, so he will just be a little bit behind, let's say. Actually, this player is also making elite pikemen. That's really interesting. 3 of our enemies are making elite pikemen. Yeah, those guys will be fighting against each other probably.
Upgrade complete, my lord.
So we don't need to worry about those. Oh, the yellow enemy is actually building an expansion here. We'll probably need to stop that. Also, as you can see, the purple enemy is fighting with the red one. So right now no one is attacking me and I can do whatever I want, which is always a really big advantage. So let's try to use that for our advantage, and let's build an expansion here. And also, as I said, I want to stop the enemies from expanding, so we'll just go here and destroy this, just kill this peasant. That will also destroy the expansion. Also, we can upgrade improved farming and maybe build one more farm.
Let's do it.
Yeah, the yellow enemy is the furthest one from me, so he probably won't be able to punish me for destroying this expansion. And if he attacks my expansion, then I should be able to defend it, because I have not fought anyone yet, and he probably lost some units here while destroying the red enemy. Yeah, I don't think he will destroy him now, because the red enemy has the tower here, which is really strong. But eventually he will probably die, because he doesn't have any more peasants. Yeah, and also the purple enemy will attack him. So we destroyed the expansion here, now we will create our own one.
Good idea.
Yeah, you can maybe build 2 town halls here to make it more effective, but right now we don't have resources for that, so let's just make one. And also let's make one more peasant.
What needs to be
And
done?
let's build some towers around here, so we don't lose our expansion. I think like 4 towers should be enough, at least for now. We can make more later.
Research complete, my lord.
And also I want to use my stone keep in my main town to create peasants for this expansion immediately. This expansion is really good because you have lots of those fields here, and also those are mineral fields, so you are getting both the gold and gems at once, which is always good. But we can also take those gems mines and make even more gems. And if we want lots of gold, then we can of course go here. But this is a little bit harder to defend, I would say, because those guys will be fighting really close to here, so maybe not the ideal spot. Oh, as you can see, the red enemy already died. I don't know if the purple also attacked there or what happened. Oh, actually he's right here.
Building complete,
But yeah, we don't need to worry about him, because those elite pikemen are weaker than my elite swordsmen, and I have even more of them. And really soon I will have even a watchtower here, so then it will be even easier for me to defend myself. Also, we have one more swordsman here.
On my way.
And let's actually make even more swordsmen, because we saved up some gems, and now I can use at least some gold here for those soldiers. And of course we want to maintain that peasant production right now just in our stone keep, but once we finish this town hall in our expansion, then we will also start producing even more peasants here. Of course, don't forget
is
to
not
upgrade
enough
our
gold, my
towers, and then once we upgrade to castle, we can also upgrade to guard towers, which will increase the HP even more, I believe, and also it will give us 10 more damage and 1 armor. And there will also be the fortify upgrade, so we can even make those towers even tankier.
sword serves you.
So right now we don't have too much gold, so let's just invest to more peasants. That will make sure that we'll have resources at least later in the game. Actually, this guy is really weak. He just made
Building complete, my lord.
6 soldiers, while this guy
Upgrade
also
complete,
has
my lord.
3 elite pikemans, but he has like 15 X-mens or something. But of course there is this tower. Oh, actually, as you can see, there is the Valkyrie that was not transformed yet, and it was able to shoot once. That's like a little bit bug. As you can see, this guy actually expanded, and this is the enemy that should just destroy this, but he's just standing here for no reason. That's really weird. But at least they are not attacking me, so I don't need to worry about them. This is Scout.
Building complete, my
I mean, he
lord.
lost some peasants probably, but he was still able to defend himself with this tower and force the yellow enemy back. So let's
am here,
upgrade
my
those
lord.
towers and make a few more peasants. I think we have 7 mineral fields here, so the perfect number will be like 18 peasants, I would say. So definitely we need many more of them.
What needs
Right
to
now
be
we
done?
have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, so like this we will have the perfect number, I would say. Let's also research... Actually, no, let's wait for the third upgrade for our swordsmen, because I don't have ranged units yet. And also I will want
Upgrade
the
complete, my
castle
lord.
upgrade and fortify
Work, my
upgrade.
lord.
And let's queue up some units. Now I will queue up the third
Research
upgrade
complete,
here.
my
Actually, we
lord.
need castle for that, so let's just use the time for this upgrade, because we will be making
I am here,
ranged
my lord.
units in a moment. And let's
do
just
it.
make
What needs to be
some
done?
more
Ready for
barracks
work, my
here,
lord.
and let's actually make marksman's
idea.
tower, because right now I should have enough gems, and if I don't, then I will just take those gem mines, and then it should be pretty okay. We are not using those mineral fields on the sides yet, but hopefully those peasants will go there,
Ready
or
for
I can
work, my
just
lord.
send them
I await
here.
your command. Lead the way. On
Let's
my way.
move our army a little bit. Of course, don't forget to upgrade your barracks once you finish them. Seems like we still don't need to worry about those guys, because this enemy cannot attack me because there is this town in his way, and this guy, if he decides to attack me, then he will probably get attacked by the second enemy. Seems like this peasant from the teal color enemy is trying to expand somewhere, maybe here. Also, it seems like the purple
Upgrade
is
complete,
actually
my lord.
pushing the yellow
Building
enemy
complete,
back,
my lord.
and he decided to swap his targets and started attacking the teal enemy.
Sir.
And yeah, we finally finished our upgrades, so let's start making some crossbowmen and also maybe more swordsmen, and also queue up the last upgrade for our swordsmen, and potentially we can also upgrade those towers. I don't think they will attack my main town now, so let's not waste any resources there. But I will just make one more peasant here and make that expansion here, so we can get even more gems. So let's queue up some peasants. And
Excellent idea.
actually, let's use this peasant to build some towers first, because I don't want to lose this, since I'm investing some resources into it. Yeah, I could also research the teamwork upgrade here and then build it even faster, but it's not mandatory right now. Also, we ran out of wood, so we'll definitely need more peasants there. I have only 3 of them, or actually 4. So let's make it 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's make 8 peasants on wood. That should be enough. And let's keep producing some crossbowmen because they are a little bit cheaper. Also, we ran out of population, so we will need even more wood for farms. That's not ideal. Yeah, right now I have really big problems with wood. Maybe let's queue up this upgrade that only costs gold. Yeah, I should have seen it a little bit earlier. Then I would be able to stop it by making more peasants on wood faster, but hopefully it won't be too much of a problem. Let's actually send them here and take them immediately, so we can start harvesting that wood even faster. Maybe we can make one more blacksmith somewhere. Yeah, this is not ideal spot, but maybe here.
Will the work never end?
And here we will just queue up more crossbowmen. Also we can make the Circle of Ancients. It will cost even more wood, but I want to unlock my Elite Knights as soon as possible because that's like the strongest unit by far. So that will definitely help us a lot. And let's make like at least one more farm right now. I don't have wood for more, but once we get it, then I will definitely make even more farms because we really don't have enough population. And it seems like the purple enemy moved here, so he's like threatening me a little bit, but he has no chance against me right now. The yellow enemy started making some scouts, but that will be totally useless against elite pikemen, so I mean he has no chance to defeat this enemy. And then there is the blue enemy, which is probably the strongest army right now of our enemies, but we should be still able to defeat him once we decide to fight him. So let's just keep making soldiers. Of course, it's really easy for me right now because I don't need to worry about anyone attacking me. Yeah, we are only defending ourselves since the start of this game, but it's not always like this. Right now I'm just showing you the map, but if you want to see different scenarios, of course you will need to play it yourself. I already played like 3 games and it was always different. Yeah, for example, I was like 2 times on this position, I believe, and the enemy on this position was always attacking me really quickly, and it was quite difficult to defend. Also, this position is really hard to play because you need to harvest the wood either here or here, and both places are really far from your town hall. So all the other positions have forests basically next to your town hall, and this is the one position that has those trees a little bit further away. Which is of course not really balanced, but I just made it the same as it was in Knights and Merchants, and it is actually one of the really original maps from the first version of Knights and Merchants, and there you were not even able to choose color or position or things like this, so you were always forced to play on this position, and the fact that you didn't have the wood so close was probably intentional, so it was a little bit harder. So I just made it the same, even though right now it's not really balanced for this game. But maybe if you play in teams, then you don't need to really worry about harvesting a little bit further from your town. And also, of course, you just need to build a blacksmith here, and then it's okay. Yeah, in Knights and Merchants, you need to build a really long road, and then start making some trees there, harvesting them. It's a much longer process, so it's not that big of a problem for this game. So let's take a few more peasants and build some farms here. Also, we have those towers that we need to upgrade. And yeah, let's upgrade our ranged units as well. We have some QW units here, but we still don't have population, at least for those elite knights. Seems like we also don't have gold right now. Yeah, because mineral fields are good that they are also giving you gems, but of course it's slower for gold. As you can see, we are only receiving 7 gold at a time, while you have 10 gold from gold fields. So definitely this guy is getting much more gold.
Building
But since he
complete, my
didn't
lord.
take those gems mines, he's not
Building
making
complete, my
too
lord.
much gems. So we don't
Upgrade
need to
complete,
worry
my
about
lord.
him making too many elite units. Yeah, as you can see, this guy has quite a large army of scouts, but you still need
Research
to keep in
complete, my
mind
lord.
that those units are not elite, so they are
Building
not that
complete, my
strong.
lord.
We should be still able to defeat them. As you can see, the elite knight is much stronger. Yeah, it's maybe not the best idea to make elite knights when my enemy here has elite pikemans, but I mean, we should still be able to defeat him. Because those elite knights are super tanky, even against elite pikemans. Yeah, you have that heal ability, and I also still have lots of elite swordsmen that I can use, also some X-mans. And then we will use the offensive power of crossbowmen, of course, to finally kill him. So let's actually make few more knights, but also let's not stop making elite swordsmen, so we have something else that can potentially tank this damage. Seems like he also started making some other units. He has even more elite pikemen here. I don't know why he is not in
Upgrade
formation
complete,
with
my
all of
lord.
his units, but maybe once we attack him he will rearrange his army. Seems like the yellow enemy decided to attack this enemy, even though he would definitely be able to defend himself with those elite pikemen against those scouts,
Research
but he
complete,
is
my
not even
lord.
fighting with his army, only with his peasants and towers. But somehow he still managed to maybe scare him away or something, so he should be okay for now. Yeah, but those guys on top, they don't have second, or I mean, they don't have expansion, second town, so they are not like too dangerous for us. The real danger is here around us because both of those enemies have second town, so they are getting lots of resources. Also, as you can see, those mines are definitely not infinite in this map, so if we'll be too slow, then we'll run out of resources and maybe won't be able to even finish them. So definitely need to be quick. So let's make 3 more knights, so we have full group of them. Also let's finish like 2 more farms. So we
Good
have full
idea.
population of 200, and let's see how many. Yeah, actually we have full group of swordsmen. So let's just focus on crossbowmen right now, because as I mentioned, we will need lots of ranged units. And we can also start making some groups, of course. Also, I will check if we have all the upgrades that we need. Yeah, so this is the last upgrade for archers, so it should be everything once this is finished. And basically the only upgrade I didn't research yet is the teamwork upgrade here, which we don't need. Actually there are some more upgrades for archers, but we are not making them since we now have enough gems for crossbowmen. So basically all the researches we needed we already have. We didn't build those buildings for scouts and elite pikemen because we don't need them, but maybe I will make it later so I can show you all the units. But yeah, you can see them here. Yeah. Those enemies are making the other units that I'm not right now making.
It will be done.
So this will be the group number 1, where we have 15 elite knights. Then we have swordsmen in group number 2, and crossbowmen group number 3. We also have 2 X-men here, but maybe let's add them to those crossbowmen, so we don't need to worry about them. And let's just keep producing more crossbowmen. But I will attack immediately because I want to finally start destroying something, so we don't run out of those resources. I'm actually worried about this enemy attacking me a little bit, so I'm actually considering maybe attacking him first. Because I definitely don't have enough soldiers to attack on one side and also defend myself at the same time.
Cocked and loaded, ready and
So
waiting.
let's just try this side. Maybe then the purple enemy will attack me, but maybe he will run into my towers. And then we might be able to defeat him. Seems like he is willing to fight me, so I will definitely not complain. Of course, we need to be cautious about those elite pikemen, or I might just, all of my elite knights might just die there, so let's just retreat a little bit. Let's bring my swordsmen in front. And also let's use the healing ability on all the injured knights, of course. Yeah, definitely don't want to waste my offensive power of my ranged units on those farms. And seems like the purple enemy is actually attacking me, so this is not ideal because I didn't even upgrade it those towers to guard towers, so they won't be able to last for too long. But I just want to finish this army first before I go defend myself, even though I will probably lose something in my home. I'm still willing to sacrifice that to destroy at least something here, at least the army. Of course, ideally I would want to destroy the whole expansion, but we don't have time for that. So let's just retreat. And as you can see, we only lost those towers and some peasants. Here we are able to defend ourselves, and now I will just go back with my army and force him back. I don't think he will even fight me, which is correct. We don't need more wood, so I won't remake those peasants that died here. And right now I should be able to just attack. As you can see, this guy is actually helping me while he's getting destroyed. So that's really good. Again, I need to retreat with my knights because he's using his pikemen. I will heal my injured elite knights, and we'll just keep pushing forward. We can maybe repair this town hall. Seems like he's attacking once again.
I live to serve.
We need to heal some knights. Even though we are running out of heals, it should be fine. I lost most of those swordsmen when I was fighting against the second enemy, but we should be able to kill those pikemen with our crossbowmen fairly quickly, and then I should be able to just tank everything with my sword, with my elite knights. Yeah, even though I'll probably lose some of them now, it should be okay later on. Yeah, we are also getting some auras finally, so we will have increased HP, potentially even increased armor from those swordsmen if some of them survive with auras. And of course, those leveled up knights I can just keep alive with those heals. We destroyed the tower, and now it's just about destroying all the remaining forces. As you can see, he's not dealing any damage to the elite knight with his peasants, so I can just keep them there, and it's okay like this. Seems like this enemy will just die to the yellow army, so we don't need to worry about him, even though this army is quite strong. And the blue enemy doesn't have any more soldiers because I just killed him. So right now it will be just basically 1v1 against the yellow enemy, and he doesn't have second town, he doesn't have expansion, so I should be definitely pretty okay there. Yeah, let's heal some units. Of course, mainly I'm healing my elite knights because they are the most valuable unit here. Definitely the strongest units. But I can also heal maybe some leveled up swordsmen, so we don't lose those auras. And I can just let this this yellow enemy help me a little bit and destroy this blue enemy town. Basically everything that is remaining there. Let's remake every unit that we lost, so mainly some elite knights, but we can make even more crossbowmen, of course. And I mean, this will be probably everything here. Maybe we can upgrade this tower if he decides to attack me, but hopefully he will go on the blue enemy. Yeah, that will be the ideal thing, but seems like he's going on me, so let's just try to stop him with this for now. I don't have too many towers, so on this position, so it will be a little bit harder. But we already finished our job here, so we can retreat with our army, and if he decides to fight, I think we should be here fast enough, because it will take him some time to kill those elite units, of course. Maybe I will do some peasants, but that doesn't really matter. Yeah, I have those strong towers here, so that's also really good. And yeah, I'm here with my army right now, so he will just retreat and I will kill some units while he's running away, of course.
Lead the way. Yes, sir.
Right now I of course need to finish the purple enemy, even though he doesn't have any more soldiers. I just don't want him to waste resources here. And also I will probably finish the blue enemy,
It will be done.
and after that we will just take
My
everything
life is at your service.
and finish the
I'm
yellow
loaded. Ready and
enemy,
waiting.
of
Loaded,
course.
sir. Cocked and loaded.
Huh?
Here we have one idle peasant,
idea.
so let's just send him back. Maybe he
What
can
needs to be done?
repair this tower first. Also
Excellent
black,
idea.
also barracks. And I would really like this enemy to attack the blue enemy, so I can finally move here. But if he keeps coming back, then I of course won't go away, because then he would just destroy my expansion for no reason. Maybe the best idea is just to go straight up to his town and just destroy him first. Because if those guys decide to attack me, then it won't mean anything, because they just won't get even through those strong
I'm loaded,
towers.
sir. Cocked and loaded.
So yeah, this will be probably the
Loaded, sir.
best strategy
Our
right
forces
now
are
for
under
me.
attack.
Yeah, if he attacks with X-Men
My
against
life
my
is at
elite
your
knights, he
service.
will stand no chance. And the only problem is here, because we will need to go across the bridge, but since he has no ranged units, it should still be pretty okay. And it seems like these guys may be trying to attack me, but as I said,
Cocked
he
and
stands
loaded.
no chance. So let's just make some swordsmen to defend this expansion, and we don't need to worry about it
Our
anymore.
forces are under attack.
Yeah, he's actually fighting on the bridge, but just with some with some X-Men, so it should be pretty easy. I won't fight him immediately, so he doesn't start coming back. I will first go with all of my units across the bridge, and then I will move him here. Yeah, I have some crossbowmen here in front, so let's move them back a little bit, but they are already leveled up, so they have increased HP. And I can maybe move my units a little bit, so we can move here with everything from the bridge. And hopefully we won't lose any units. Maybe I can even heal this swordsman here, and we should just be able to move through his town.
We're under attack.
I will also make that growth of pikes and
Our
stables,
forces are
so
under
you can
attack.
see the other units,
Good idea.
even though you already saw
Our
them
forces are under
with
attack.
the other players. I would still
Yes,
like to
sir.
show them here. Also, as you can see, you can create elite pikemen on 2 positions here, yeah, as Valkyries
under
and as
attack.
Dryads. Of course, it's always better to create them as Dryads,
We're under
because
attack.
the production time is much faster. It's 25 seconds instead of 50, which is twice as fast. But of course, this option is here
We're under attack.
because of the fact that I mentioned, and that is that the AI will just get stuck sometimes and not make any units. In the old version, or the version that is used for multiplayer with real players, because the AI is just programmed to make the strategy when he's just spamming Valkyries. So if I disable that position of Valkyries, then he will just not make anything. So that's why I needed to add the second
Building
position
complete,
here.
my
But
lord.
you, as
I
a
am here, my lord.
real player, of course, you want to
Let's do it.
always choose the option of Dryads here, because it will just create that unit even faster. As you can see, the price is the same. The population for creation is the same. It's free, but the actual unit costs only 2, so once you create it, it will refund you 1 population. But to start creating the unit, you will still need 3, and it doesn't matter what option you choose. So always choose the first one, of course. Here we have scouts. There is just the one change, that you don't have the barn building anymore, which was in the campaign, because again it was just bugging a little bit for AI, because he was not able to make scouts without that building, and he was not building it, so I just removed it and removed the requirement for scouts. I mean, requirement for barn to be built before you can create scouts. And that's basically all the changes, yeah. Of course, then I also changed the fact that you don't need castle for all elite units except knights. That also made the game a little bit
Building
faster,
complete, my
yeah,
lord.
because if you actually launch a game in the version for multiplayer with real players, and you add some computers there, and they don't get stuck. They get stuck only if they decide to make that Valkyrie strategy, of course. But if they decide to make any other strategy, then you will actually see a little difference in comparison to this version, because they will just not be making basically any elite units, because you need castle for that, and that just take too much time. And also they won't be making any scouts, of course, because they won't have that barn, and it will just be a little bit different. Yeah, so just keep that in mind, that that version is definitely not appropriate for gameplay with AI. As you can see, the blue enemy is actually making 2 expansions, which is really a lot, but we should be still able to easily defeat him. I just want to finish this guy first because he's closer to my army, so we don't need to run that far all the time. But he's also creating, or actually he already has an expansion here, so we'll need to continue there after we are finished here. But we should be able to go through his town fairly quickly. Of course, the main danger is this tower here, so we will just need to destroy it. And now, actually, here are some units stuck, so let's move them a little bit, so we can use all of them for maximum damage. We can also heal our crossbowman, doesn't matter anymore. I don't want to lose any more units because basically everything is leveled up quite a lot. And I mean, he's only making scouts, which is not too dangerous for us. So as you can see, it's definitely not that hard if no one is attacking you, but if our enemies were a little bit smarter and they didn't just let me live there and make free expansion, then it would be much harder, of course. This was definitely much easier than it usually is. And I would say it's like a really interesting mode, yeah, definitely something totally different from anything else, because in that Knights and Merchants Reborn campaign, it's a little bit different because your enemies already have really huge army since the beginning, so it's just different. And of course in normal Armies of Exigo, then there is of course totally different balance of everything, and it's mainly about some spells and abilities, while here you have only one spell and AI doesn't even use it, and also they didn't make a single elite knight during the whole game, so it's definitely totally different. And of course right now, I mean, even if I was 1v5, they would not be able to defeat me because I would just have much stronger units, and also I would be using that healing ability. But of course the main thing here is the early game, because we are fighting with really straightforward balance of units, where you have just a circle basically, where knights are countered by pikemans, pikemans are countered by swordsmen, and swordsmen are countered by knights, and then also you have ranged units. So it's really straightforward, nothing too complicated, but you still need to somehow defeat your enemies that are cheating, of course, with harvesting resources and also building times, if you are playing against very hard AIs, of course. So you really need to figure out how we are going to do that. Yeah, the best strategy is probably to make towers really quickly, but it's still quite interesting, yeah, so definitely I would recommend you to try it yourself, and I believe you will definitely enjoy it, at least for like first or second time, because it's something totally different, of course. So right now we'll just walk through those scouts, and after we destroy that army and start destroying this town, then I will move my elite knights here and finish this town as well, so we don't need to wait for it later. Actually, let's maybe send this army here. That's the number 5 that I just added to my army, because it was just staying here, and I don't have any more space in my old groups. There is only one space here for one elite knight that we lost somewhere, but that's definitely not something that we need to worry about. So let's just keep healing our knights so we don't lose them, and because I want to use them later for that second town. But as you can see, he stands no chance. Yeah, this seems like strong army because in Armies of Exigo, I mean the normal version of an Armies of Exigo, this would be fairly strong because it's just a really huge army of knights. But in this version, of course, those are only scouts, which are not elite units, so they are pretty weak, and he just stands no chance against me. He didn't kill a single unit, and now I will just retreat and start destroying this town as well. Yeah, as you can see here, it's just a 1v1 of elite swordsman against the scout, and the swordsman will probably not lose even like third of his HP or something, so it's pretty easy. Also, as you can see, we have all the auras here because those crossbowmen are leveled up. We even have some level 5 here, which means we have the stronger aura, which is giving us 2 more damage to each of our units. Then we have some level 4 swordsmen and level 4 knights, so we have the lesser aura of 4 armor and HP, but that's still pretty strong. And we actually managed to start making one more expansion here, so let's just take those knights, actually just all of them, and let's finish this as well. I hope he won't start making it somewhere else. That will be really annoying.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's just about finishing those last buildings. I don't think he has any more peasants anywhere, or at least I don't see them. So this should be the last thing we need to destroy. Maybe he will finish the building, but it doesn't really matter. So yeah, as I mentioned, the map is not perfectly balanced. Mainly this position is just a little bit weaker. As you can see, there's one more peasant here. This position is a little bit weaker, I would say, because the wood is a little bit further away. But I think if you play it in a team play, which is something I actually didn't try yet, so definitely I would recommend you to try that as well. If you play like a 3v3 or 3 teams, each 2 players, then it might be a little bit more interesting because there, as you can see, this position, for example, here you have 2 positions on this like small island that is divided from everything else just by this small bridge, and also this small place to walk through that river. So those are like the only spots that you need to defend, and then it will be of course even more interesting because if you make lots of towers here and maybe play against real players, then it will be really difficult to push through that. But of course, if you play the first version of this map where you play with actual Armies of Exigo races, then it will not be that interesting because there will be flying units, and then of course you can just fly around those areas, around that bridge, and just ignore towers. And of course also in normal Armies of Exigo, towers are not so broken, so you don't even need to worry about them. You can just destroy them with some catapults or something. So here, as you can see, we have the stats. So units killed, definitely the most. Also we had the largest army. We didn't lose. Actually, we lost the least amount of units. I was expecting those guys to lost a little bit less than me, but even those that were not even fighting too much, they lost even more units than we did. Then we have experience gained. Here are some buildings. Actually, he constructed one more building than me. That's basically probably because he was building lots of farms in his expansions when he was getting destroyed somewhere else, while my buildings are only some towers and I didn't make too many of them actually. Here we have some researches, and of course resources. As you can see, we had most of each resource. Also we spent the most of it. Yeah, here wood was quite close, but we still managed to be first. And yeah, that was basically mainly because they were not attacking me and I was just able to create expansion for free. So definitely not something that will happen to you probably in every game, but if it does, then as you can see, it's really easy. So yeah, this was the Across the Desert map. just a really small project. I hope you liked it. Yeah, you can definitely go in the description and download it and try it for yourself. And of course, also let me know in the comments what you think about it. If I should maybe create some more maps, recreate some more maps from Knights and Merchants, or maybe some other games. You can give me some tips. Or if I should make some more modes for this map or some other map, for example. Maybe some other races, or if, for example, you have some advices for this Knights and Merchants balance mode. Yeah, the way I changed it for AI, maybe it can be changed a little bit different. Yeah, so if you have some ideas, definitely let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.